The sins and transgressions of fibblers, quibblers, and Adam's ribblers. The sins and transgressions of fibblers, quibblers, and Adam's ribblers. Fibber, quibber, ribbery, roo. A woman's man who loved to lie about all the things he could do and how he was such a smart guy. For according to him, he had been a preacher and a teacher and a mother of a brother and a soldier and a statesman and a very significant other and a lawyer and a judge and a jailer of some jackals and a golly to Miss Molly and a mighty holy mackerel and a doctor and a proctor and a curer of some stones and a dick with some tricks with some hidden microphones, and a lander and an abander of some crashing aeroplanes, and a porker and a storker of 1,000 different dames. A Pinocchio and a Mitty, all scrolled up into one. If he weren't such a son of a biddy, he'd be the butt end of a pop gun.
Sterny Ernie, he was a blog, a non-believer in evolution. He thought a mutt was made a dog when God started the revolution. He thought Eve was made for Adam, to do unto as he pleased, to call her his little madam, and wipe his nose when he sneezed. He was an Old Testament type of all that hellfire and brimstone. Thus he didn't have to think twice, for nothing to him was unknown. To him there was those that God chose, and there were them that God denied. Thus to him heaven's gates were closed, but hell's were always opened wide. He liked to think of simple things, like what is black and what is white. It made it easier for him to face the day and sleep at night.
Weasty beasties, poets and high priests, as holy as all thou, and pretentious as the gold on laurel wreaths. They like to lie alone in the nude and ponder questions like why lepers like them seek such high altitudes. They love to shoot big game in the wild and hang it on their walls next to portraits of maidens they once defiled. Knowledge they have much more than their share. Omniscient they would be if it weren't for the stain in their underwear. Good shepherds they like to think they are, like so many lost lambs that have strayed away from the fold way too far. For far from the great flock they have roamed, and it has not been known for lost sheep like them to ever get back home. Ah, yeah, Artsy Fartsy was a critic of poetry and of prose, and Artsy, for the most partsy, was analytic, at least in picking out his fancy clothes. He didn't know the sweet green leaves of grass from the oh-so-fleeting light on Daisy's dock, or what in the hell the jawbone of an ass had to do with the crowing of some cocks. Artsy fartsy bowsy wowsy. We used to believe him somewhat awfully artsy. But nowsy and wowsy bowsy, we know he's mostly kind of fartsy. For it must have been the bard of bards who put it in some lines many moons ago, and once upon a time. For the chicken that lays the golden egg cannot tell if it's precisely nicely made, and neither can some fine feathered goose who has taken upon himself to scroll out praise and accolades. And that's the way it is. March 6th, 1981. This is Walter Cronkite saying good night. Newsy, floozy bunnies are funny to even those who don't want to laugh, for they make all the news kind of sunny and make one think of a good chunk of laughs. For when they tell of a pandemic, they mix it with the bat of a beautiful eye, and the pandemic becomes kind of systemic with the flash of a little more of a well-formed thigh. And when they read of a hurricane, they move to show more of their too perfect breasts, and the hurricane becomes just like drops of rain as they squirm in and out of an almost on dress. And when they talk about a world war, they moisten up and wet their set of luscious lips, and the world war becomes like a good-hearted whore with a swing and a sway of their voluptuous hips. For Walter, his kind is long gone. Alas, it is sad, but it is true. But some are glad and like the fad of floozies doing them while they're screwing with the news. And that's the way it is. July 17th, 2009. This is Walter Cronkite saying good night. Sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite.